Hey, it's Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Wednesday. It's April 16th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And I just saw the holiday schedule for this Easter weekend, and Friday is Good Friday, and is no trading on Friday. So we'll get a short week this week. We'll come in tomorrow and we'll wrap it up. And they're not even trading until noon on Friday. The whole market's closed the entire day, so no trading at all. Hope everybody has a great Easter weekend, enjoys the extended holiday, and we'll try to pick back up on Monday. But also, one other note, I did a live trade example today, processed that, and it's uploading. So it may be up before this video, but if not, it'll be up sometime this evening as well. So if you haven't seen that yet, you probably have to go to the website to watch it now. I doubt I'll eventually upload it to the YouTube channel here as well. But for now, you'd have to go to the website to see it. And it is free for anybody. So if you want to go to the website to watch it, go on over there, priceactiontradingsystem.com. And you can find that video. If you look on the right hand side, you can see latest posts, and you can find that live trade example dated today. Uh, and then probably tomorrow sometime I'll make it available on YouTube as well. But anyway, let's get started on the chart lesson and get this day wrapped up. I need to get out here a little early today. You can see we did break out of the little sideways movement and traded lower today. We still closed about the same level here, so we may be in a little tight. I'm not ready to call this a range yet, but we may be in a little tight range here, like so. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow, the volatility and the volume has dropped considerably. Kind of picked up this, I would say, late this afternoon, and the selling really kind of took off. Although we did recover some of it, so we're once again in one day we're back in very oversold territory. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, but we could continue lower, we could bounce, or just stay in this sideways stuff here. Anyway, let's flip over to the 2000 tick chart and take a look at it, and we'll go through the trades. Okay, here's a look at our 2000 tick chart, and you can see we were in this range and we finally broke lower. A measured move was down here. We went a little further before we recovered and bounced some and took some of it back. It's not quite 4 o'clock. There's about 8 or 9 minutes left in the trading day, so I don't know if we'll end up pushing lower here or recover that little drop off right there. We'll have to see. But most of I would say more than half the day we were sideways, and then we had these two legs down late in the afternoon. Let's see how close they are to being measured moves. Not quite a measured move down, but there they are. So let's zoom in here. Not a lot of trades, kind of like yesterday. There's just not a lot of setups here. And this kind of choppy sideways stuff is difficult to trade. So you had to be patient this morning. There was 7 o'clock came. I think we was coming right in here as we're turning. But then you had the news, so that you really didn't have anything you could trade for that news. And prices just kind of dropped on down, then recovered, and we were working sideways here. So this was a failed breakout. We also had the close outside and a couple of legs up to a new high. You need to wait on a lower high here. Maybe if you want to be aggressive, you can take these kind of trades, but I say wait on the lower high, which comes here. Either one of them would have worked, but the lower high would have been a much better trade, much safer trade. And of course, we run back down to the lows down here again and bounce. We didn't get a good enough signal bar to go long there. And then we got a higher low with the signal bar. It doesn't qualify. And then we got a third attempt to go lower that failed. And now you got a little trap. And this actually broke lower and turned up. I don't know if I'd go long right here because you may not get through the EMA. But I like going long on the engulfing bar one tick above this bar. I think it's bearish enough. And that would have got you a safe entry. You could still go long above this bar, but it's a little more risky if you wait till this closes because it's so close to the EMA, which you see how it touches it and turns back. It could always turn down there. Even if it's going to go higher, it could still pull back again. and it could stop you out before it goes higher. So, but it runs on up, and then we're just chopping sideways, and notice we do get a close outside and a triple test all in one bar. I like going short there. I made it green because we don't have a new high yet. Looking back at this, I believe the trend really starts right here, and I think I just had this drawn improperly. Doesn't really change a whole lot. You still don't get the new high, but I think this is probably your trend. Close outside. It tried to go higher twice and fails, so then you can go short there on the triple test. And notice this closes outside the support. If it was inside right at the support, you couldn't take that trade either. I still made it green because we never had the new high. So if you saw it either way, it's really the same trade. Doesn't change anything. So then we're running down, close outside. And we do make a new low by one tick there, and then it just takes off. You don't really get a chance to trade this one either. And then you're chopping sideways. I don't see any setups in there you can take. It breaks out and fails, but no setup. Trend working down, close outside. And there's actually a new high here because we broke higher and went lower and then came back again. So that's a new high. So that's a first entry, second entry. So that's a second entry long right at the key entry point. And even if you didn't count that as a tick higher, it's still a leg down, a correction, and another leg down. And you can see how that looks like one leg down. So I'd probably treat that like a second entry, even if it didn't get a new high and you count the second entry right here. Quick, easy move, and then you get another second entry right off the key entry point once again. Great setup there. And then this is where I came in and started. I was hoping to get a setup here on another second entry, and we got one, but you see the signal bar this time is not any good, so I did not take that trade. And then I started looking for a possibility to go short, and there's just nothing here all the way down until we start chopping sideways. And this is the one I took as a trade example. You'll see the video of it. Notice, well, I'll wait till we get to it. But anyway, you had a chance to enter here, and it was a second entry. Notice the new low. And you came up, and you could argue there was maybe a triple test right here. It didn't quite get back up there. You might still argue, hey, that's a triple test. And if you took that trade, guess what? It works. But I didn't like it, and I didn't take it in real time. I think you could mark it green and say, hey, if you want to be aggressive, maybe you take it. But I didn't take it in real time, so I waited till we got a better setup. And then this one was tempting as well. And you'll watch me in the video. I skip over it because we're not back to the trend line yet. We're so close, and the fact that we are not taking off tells me that we're working towards this trend line before we're going to go lower. And so I did not take that one. And if you took that one, I believe it's a one tick failure. It might work. Let me double check it. But I think it's a one tick failure. No, it would have worked. You would have got. Well, maybe I don't quite. Let me try that one more time because I would have sworn it was a one tick failure. No, you could see you still would have got out of it, but I didn't like the trade in real time, and you could see it did not go far, just as I expected, because I was expecting prices to come back to this trend line. So maybe you argue for it. I mean, to take it. Again, it works. You get 6 ticks, but yeah, the low is 53.63. What did I say that was? 53.63, and the low there's 53.6150. So it works. You would have got out of that trade, but it's just, I don't recommend it because you're not back to that trend line. Now you could take it as a range trade, but I'm not crazy about it. But notice then we did come back here. We did break out, but it closes back inside. And that's also, notice the new low here. That's also a first entry, second entry, and it's the first close outside this trend line. So we'd expect prices to make a new low. And that's the one I demonstrated the trade. I entered one tick below that. I didn't get a runner. I was a little too conservative with it. I wish I'd have given it a little more room because I could have at least ridden it down to the lows, which I believe I could have gotten 4 or 5 points out of that. Yeah, you could have easily gotten 5, maybe even a little bit more than 5 points out of that. So that would have been another 750. If you got 5 more points, even if you got 3 more points, it would have been another $750. But if I'd have got 5 more points on 5, that'd been 25 points. So that would have been a really nice trade, but I didn't get it. So that's the way it goes sometimes. And then we're just chopping sideways. I don't see anything in there till it breaks lower. Now you've made your new low. As long as you got room to get out here, you could take that trade. And you can see it goes quite a bit higher. And then you got a lower high here. I didn't mark this one. It is a second entry short when it breaks below this bar. So you could still trade this bar because of the 2-bar matching high, but you don't want to go short way down here. And then it doesn't break by that one anyway. You get an inside bar. And it would have worked, but just don't take those inside bars. And so, unfortunately, if this would have broke higher, you could have traded it on the engulfing bar if you're a little more experienced, but most of you need to avoid those as well. And instead of bouncing here at the lows, it actually went a little lower, and they try to bring it back, and they just can't do it. And you might ask, well, what about this one right here? You got at least a triple test, but notice how we couldn't get past that midline, and you got all that congestion. I'd just sit tight. It's not worth risking it. All these are first entries. Now you do get a second entry here, and the signal bar is no good. If you had a good signal bar there, by all means, I'd say go short. Even without a break of that trend channel, I'd say go short there because you got a big downtrend here, and you're going to retest that low. It does run to a new low. Then we make a higher low here on a second entry long, and it does confirm that trend line. Comes back here just the first entry, and you actually get a second entry right here on the breakout, but it's not a very good trade. I would actually count this probably as a double top. So first entry, second entry, but it didn't break higher, and now it looks congested, so I did not mark it either. I would not take it. And you get a few legs up, and it's turned down again. And once again, you're trending down strongly, but I just don't see anything here that would tempt me to go short or long until you get a break here, and you actually get a lower high, but you just have to kind of sit tight on that congestion. That's too congestion. And finally, you try to go lower 3 times here and fail, and there you get a higher low. On this higher low, that bar it's only 13 ticks, very low risk. It is late in the day, but I think you're fine to go long there just to try to ride that. Hope you should minimum probably go back to the EMA, and it might reverse. And sure enough, it's a nice reversal. If you got a runner there, which you probably would, you can ride that thing out. I would have ridden it at least till here. But anyway, there it is. Not again, things have slowed down a little bit, and there's another big picture look at it. This line here is the measured move on the range, and you can see we pushed through that, and we quickly came back in and tested it and went higher. And we have closed, and we did take back some of that sell off right there right before the close. So I made note of the news this morning at 7:30, so you couldn't really take a trade till after that. It really wasn't a setup before that anyway. Just kind of a quiet day, really. I mean, I sat here from here to here before I took a trade, and that one happened around 10 o'clock, and we didn't get another one till 11:30. So, and that's where most traders struggle. They can't sit there for an hour and a half and not take a trade, and they get antsy, and the next thing you know, they force a trade. They try to, basically your mind will have you trying to create trades because you feel like you got a trade, and that's the worst thing you can do because it's going to lead to a loss. So be patient, be disciplined, and follow the rules. I mean, most people, if they could do that, they could eventually find success, but it's really hard to do mentally, and that's where people struggle. So try to be patient, try to be disciplined, and wait on those good setups, And until you get one, don't take a trade. Sounds simple, but it's not easy to do for whatever reason. This is a very mental game here. It's like golf. A lot of it is mental. If you're a golfer, you know how it is. Some days you're in flow with your swing and the ball, and it just seems effortless. And the next time you go out there, you're distracted and you can't hit anything. And that's the way trading is. You have to be zoned in, and you have to be mentally sharp. If you're not, I tell you not to trade that day. If you got something going on personally, if you left the house that day and you've been fighting with your wife or your significant other or whatever, and that's on your mind when you get to sit down to trade, that's probably a day you shouldn't trade. Not till you get your head straight. Because things like that seem trivial, but they really affect you when it comes to trading. So always be relaxed. Always go somewhere where you can close the door and have quietness and nobody bothering you and no distractions. I know a lot of people like to play music. I don't even like to play music. I like it to just be dead quiet and still and no noise around when I'm trading. That's not to say you can't trade and listen to music. I'm sure there's some people that can, and it doesn't bother. But until you prove you can do it, I would try to have as much privacy and quietness as you can so you can concentrate on the chart and nothing else. So anyway, if it sounds like I'm smacking on something, I apologize, but I took a little throat lozenge. I'm still having problems. The pollen's still in the air here. The pine trees, the yellow dust is everywhere on everything, and it drives me insane this time of year. So I put in a little throat lozenge there, so hopefully I wouldn't have to hack on you or cough on you while I'm doing my video here. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again tomorrow, and that's going to wrap up our week, which we don't have chart lessons on Fridays anyway, but there's no trading at all on Friday, so there'll be no mid-morning chart either. I hope everybody has a great extended holiday and a great Easter weekend, and I will see you on Monday. But I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.